concerns about the video that she made, and we think that damages the Harris, Kamala Harris and her campaign. And I just want to see some of that same energy with all these celebrities go towards Trump and his campaign. That's all I'm saying. I'm with her. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think. I don't care. I've been mistreated by black women in power also. But Kamala Harris did not mistreat me in anybody's courtroom. I am with her.
Thank you for calling church. This is Chris.
Yeah, who's y'all pastor?
Who is our winner?
Who's y'all pastor?
This is Church of Chicken.
This ain't the church?
There's no doubt about it. Rickey Smiley is a talented comedian. He rose to fame through not just Comic View, but his hilarious prank calls, which you heard with Church's Chicken, maybe his most famous. But what's very interesting is his foray into not just politics, but into directing the black political vote in a certain direction. This can be heard on his morning show in this segment.
Feel real disappointed, upset this morning. Amanda Seals recently went viral for a video she made about Vice President Kamala Harris.
Yeah, Ricky, Amanda has received tons of backlash for her comments regarding Harris's messages being disingenuous and how she needs to take action instead of stating things. Here's a clip from Seals' controversial video.
Put in clips of Kamala Harris stating things. I don't need politicians to state things. I need politicians to do things. When I met with Kamala Harris after she summoned me, I said to her straight up, you talk out two sides of your neck and we don't know what you're talking about. Because I told her straight up that I feel like she is disingenuous in her messaging. And I want to see actions. She said, well, how am I supposed to talk about racism in America without calling Americans racist? I said, well, first of all, there are many racist Americans. But there's also policy, legislation, institution, and systems that are racist that need to be addressed.
Being the firebrand that Amanda Seals is, it is not often that I agree with her. But in this particular case, she is simply making a request known as an African-American voter with concerns in the next election, something that I can identify with. It is here where we hear a common refrain given to not only the black voter electorate in general, but the black male electorate specifically. There is simply a place where you are not allowed to go, and that place is about to be illustrated here.
Yeah, I could talk about that, and I understand where she's coming from, but Kamala Harris don't control the Congress and the Senate. Okay, and she's not the president. We have attorney and political commentator Bakari Sellers on to speak about how damaging comments like these can be to the Harris campaign. You know, is it true that VP Harris has not done anything to address racism in this country?
So first of all, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to come on the radio and badmouth Amanda or any black woman.
We're not trying to get you to do
that. One of the issues, for example, that is one of the largest issues we face is African American female mortality because, structural racism and implicit bias dictates that black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die during childbirth than white women. And who's been at the forefront of that? It's been nobody other than Kamala Harris. This year, where you're talking about access to government contracts by disadvantaged groups or black folk or minority groups, who's been at the forefront of that? Kamala Harris. I know people want to talk about her record when she was district attorney, and then they skew her record and say that she locked up a bunch of black men, and that's just fundamentally not true. There were thousands of people who were. It's not. There were thousands of people who were arrested for low-level marijuana offenses, and less than 24 of them actually went to prison. What she did do, however, and if you do have a problem with her locking up people, then you need to look at yourself in a mirror.
Here, we hear an argument for anyone who has taken issue with the policies that were enforced by the current vice president as state attorney general. We also hear a list of things that are borderline talking points, if not celebratory accomplishments of the vice president. But what is very interesting is that now we are about to hear a conversation about the proper mechanism of respect. It is here that we see a very interesting irony.
Yeah, Bakari, can I just you don't have to say it, but I just want to say, just as a black woman, I think that Amanda Seales is brilliant. I think that she made a good point about holding politicians accountable.
Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true.
Really addressing racism. My issue is that you don't say that the vice president was talking out the side of her neck. She's 60 years old. She's your elder. And,
Absolutely, Maria.
I
Absolutely,
just feel
Maria.
like...
You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys.
If she's
Absolutely.
inviting you to have a conversation, speak in a way that can assist you with trying to get the answers and the results that you want.
You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
I know you don't feel comfortable saying that, but I just wish the approach would be different.
Have said that to the vice president of the United States. I never would have said that if she was a college president. I never would have said it if she was on the city council. I never would have spoke to her.
It's just a respect for your elders.
Absolutely.
It's just how you're raised.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you?
If you have a constructive criticism for her, she is someone who will listen to it if it comes from a place of respect.
Yeah, and I just want to see that same energy from all the public figures that's against Kamala Harris. I would like to see some of that same energy for Donald Trump.
One of the issues the black community has had with expressing our voting power is the idea that complex problems do not have binary yes or no solutions. Solving racism or the black experience in America is not a yes-no issue. There is no simple way to solve it, but when elections roll around and a yes-no answer is presented to thinking black men, a familiar pressure reveals itself. A pressure that tells black people, or in our case black men uniformly, to vote in the way that they're quote-unquote supposed to. A pressure that tells black men, don't ask for too much for your vote. Be happy with what you get.
Black folk got a lot of things we got to fix, but racism ain't one of them. That's not our problem. We can't fix something that we didn't construct, right? That's not our problem. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, if Kamala Harris gets elected, will finally we be a country that is, devoid of racism? I said, well, you want this woman to save democracy and end racism. Does she get lunch first? That's a lot on one woman's shoulder.
A familiar pattern is revealing itself in the 2024 election. An apparatus led by entertainers, in this case a comedian, is telling black men how we should vote. Me personally, I have never voted for Donald Trump. In fact, I have never voted for the Republican Party for president. But as a thinking black male voter, when I am told that racism is a problem too big for the president to address, it is a difficult sell for me as a black male. If the problem is too big for the president, then who is there left to address the problem? In fact, if you don't think you can fix a problem like racism as a black candidate, why are you asking black people, or in our case, black men, to vote for you in the first place? The unfortunate part about the discourse in the black community is that we are asked to turn our emotions on and our brains off. I would not have a problem voting for Kamala Harris if she had a plan that would specifically address issues that I care about. But to tell people like myself that there are problems too big for her to solve, but vote for her anyway, is a tough sell for a new group of thinking black men. It is here where not just the Democratic Party, but the comedians and entertainers who are selling the Democratic Party have to do better. We're black men, and we think over here. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.